So here is where I provide the examples. Oftentimes, with students who speak African American Vernacular English, you have the omission of G, or the progressive ing, called G dropping. You have the copula B for R. We also have lots of substitutions, one being the substitution of F for TH and D for the voice TH. We also have substitution A for the vocalic ER. So the patterns, they're phonological features, morphosyntactic features, finna, fitna, supposed to, bout to, and then you have a combination of these. The history of AAVE has had a really interesting chronological arrival to being called AAVE. Some people use the word Ebonics, some people say Black English, some people say African American English. What we don't want to do is fall into failing to include the experiences of people of color and not using this in darkening epistemology's perspective. So a part of knowing why these linguistic features exist is a good thing to have as a clinician and as an educator, because we want the students to feel comfortable. Certain phonological or linguistic features are going to be admissible for students of color. Everyone doesn't always enunciate, even in just regular speech, the I, the N, the G, the ing, in dancing. We over enunciate as the clinicians and as the SLP, but in connected speech, you may not always hear that. And sadly, what ends up happening sometimes is it's considered an error. So this aired sound is now a part of what is being worked on. This is a therapy intervention. This is a gold. It's not necessarily something, because these students can tell you the difference of, they can write it out. It may be a part of their speech pattern, but it doesn't mean that they aren't able to auditorily discriminate. Code switching. Shifting for context. We all do that. None of us speak exactly the same all day long. And I work with kids on the spectrum a lot, and even when I see them in different environments, because oftentimes they do have a very monotone verbal speech, not when I see them in different places. They speak to me a certain way at school because it's school. So context is very, very important. Now, I've been kind of switching up on you guys, saying switching and shifting. There's different people use different terms. It just depends on who's the author, right? But code switching is essentially dialect shifting or style shifting. Scholars and teachers have appropriated the term for teaching minority students to monitor their language, right? And their dialects according to context. So when you're home, you may speak one way. With your parents, you may speak a completely different way with your peer or your sibling. And some kids just naturally decrease the use of their vernacular when they're in the classroom. Some kids just naturally figure out, due to context, how to shift or switch. It's the students that may not have that extra opportunity to practice or to hear what it sounds like. They may need, explicit instruction. And that's okay if they have explicit instruction, because that's what we're here for.